Hey, what's up, people? How you all doing today? Today, we're gonna be talking about gardening, and we're gonna be doing a few things today. Yes, we get a little rain a few days ago, but my goodness, the heat. The heat is very challenging. Don't know what the heat is doing to you guys, but I know for sure it's really challenging. Very, very challenging. So, what you see I have here, guys, I have I didn't even realize that there was a turmeric in this container, but I had an avocado seeds in this container, and it germinated and it just started growing. But now this spring, I realized that turmeric is in here, and both of them is really struggling for space. So I have to do something because two of them cannot. You know what? I'm not even gonna move them at this time. What I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna allow them to grow. Then next spring, I'm gonna move this to a bigger pot. I don't think I wanna do any transplanting right at this moment because it's too hot. It's definitely too hot. So I don't think transplanting right now gonna be a good idea. But two of them is growing beautiful. A turmeric and an avocado plant is growing really, really good in this container. I have several avocado plants, several of them, and they're growing pretty tall. And because they're growing pretty tall, what I've started doing, I'm doing my own little research. Mhm. All right. So this is an avocado plant, and it was growing tall. What I did, I cut off the top. I cut off the top right here. And since I cut off the top, if you notice, I don't think you could see, but it started pushing a lot of branches, not leaf, branches. So since I cut off the top, because the thing is, guys, I don't want them to grow tall up in the air. I want them to spread out. So when you put them in your greenhouse, they're not going way up in the air. They're more spread out, so you have room to give them. So by me cutting that, because I want it, I'm trying to figure out. Now is the time. We still in the summer, and now is the time for us. We still have time to do things that we want to do with our plans. So in this case right here, me cutting this and I see how fast I strip all the limbs, all the leaf. And then when I realize how, since I cut this a few days ago, I've realized how much limb this thing start pushing out rapidly. So instead of it goes up in the air, it's actually gonna be spreading. Let me show you one of them. This one here is growing really well. Let me remove this. This one, I love the way this one growing. The way this one growing is awesome. Hmm. The way this one growing is awesome because we crown the top right here, and if you notice, you see it just start spreading limbs everywhere, even from the bottom. So from the bottom, we see it have two sprung right here, two sprung. We see it have two sprung right here, growing up from the bottom. Plus, we have the top. We have the top up here spreading. So I like the way this one is growing. And even this limb here, even this one here. Hey, Pure Grow, what's up? Yes, doing well, doing well. Blessings, blessings. Yeah, so this is the avocado right here. And I just love how this one is growing. This gonna be a really nice, beautiful avocado plant. Why I like how it growing, this is the top, and the top is spreading out. It pushing limbs everywhere. It pushing limbs everywhere. Then we notice it push up this limb from the bottom, and it also push up this limb from the bottom. No, this one that it push up from the bottom here, this one is pushing so much limbs everywhere. This is one limb here, two limb, three limb, four limb, five limbs. So far, I'm not talking about leaf. I'm talking about limbs. But the way this growing, I love the way this growing. So this is why I start cutting their top. And I'm gonna show you. So this is one we have here. Let me bring another one. Some of the pot is so heavy. But this is another avocado. I'm actually growing these avocado, but I don't want to grow them. I don't want to graft them. This is their second year. I don't want to graft them. What I want to do, I want to grow them until they start producing. I have maybe like 10 of them, 10 to 12. Now this one here, this one have a sprung go up here. This one have a sprung go up here. So we have three sprung. Now I want to see how I can transform this one. So we have one sprung, like four of them, four sprung going up. One, two, three, four. What I want to do with this one, I'm just trying different things to see how they work, guys. Let me see. It's grow like a pear tree, kind of. Yeah, yeah, it's avocado. I think they call avocado pear as well. I'm not sure, but these are growing really well. So now, if you notice how this one is, and you know what happened to this one? I did leave this one out in the cold, and the weather kind of dried out and scorch up the limb, and it come back fresh and just start growing. What I want to do now, all these is growing really well, but I want to see something. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to cut the top. You see right there? I'm going to cut the top of here. I'm going to cut the top. I'm going to cut the top of this one as well. I'm going to leave this one because I want to see. It's all about experiment. It's all about seeing the best growth, and what you do, see which method work the best, the most effective. To me, gardening is something I want to see. I love result, and in order for love result and get result, you got to try other things. So this was an avocado tree that growing really well. If you notice, it was pushing out a new limb right down there. But sometimes you just got to take chances. So what I did, I cut this one, the top here. I cut this one, the top there, and there's a small one in here. I'm gonna cut that as well. A matter of fact, I'm gonna cut all of them. All of them. Now, I hope you guys stay tuned and look for the update, because I will be giving the update on these avocado plants. So make sure you stay tuned and always check back from time to time, because I will give the update on these avocado plants. So what I did here, this is one limb, this is two, this is three, four. So they all was growing up in the air. Now I cut the top. What's gonna start happen? They're gonna start to push more limbs. They're gonna start spreading, just like this one. You see how this one is spreading? Watch. This this one is just spreading limbs everywhere, even down to the bottom. It coming up with two limbs and start spreading, pushing limb like crazy. So now this one, what I've done here, I've cut the top. So now this gonna focus in on strengthening the body. It's gonna focus on pushing out new limbs, and it's gonna make the plant get stronger, because, like I said, experiment is the key. Definitely, if you don't experiment, you wouldn't learn anything. You wouldn't know anything. You got to be your own like a scientist in your garden. So when you try things and you see it works, you could come back and talk to somebody about it. You could tell them this worked because you did it. You see, I try my stuff, and when it works, I come and share it with the people. All right. So for what we see in here, this one, we cut this top because it was growing real tall. This one is 6 feet already. This is the second year. Once I cut the top, it starts spreading. Instead of one going up in here, it starts spreading. Now we start seeing limb coming from the bottom. So I think it's, the truth is, I really didn't wanna, to pain, how you doing? Blessing, blessing, healthy chim. Okay, all right, all right. Yes, guys, so I don't wanna graft them. I don't want to graft any of them. I just want they grow to their potential. Where the good thing about this, where I put them in the winter, they don't stop grow. They continue. They continue growing. Like in the winter, they don't stop growing. They continue growing because the temperature is just right for them, and they gain the air, they gain whatever they need, so they don't stop growing. So I'm believing, I'm just thinking, I'm believing within 4 years, 3 to 4 years, I believe I'm gonna able to harvest from these plants right here. So this is the next one right here. This one is a smaller one. I leave this outdoors. I didn't take it inside, and the winter dry it down, but it comes right back up in the spring, which amazing to me. So according to how I'm growing these, who knows? They might turn out like cold weather. The only weather I realize they don't like is weather below 35, 30. They can't stand weather below 30 degrees. So you want to take them indoors to protect them. What I'm actually growing them in? Clay soil. I'm growing them in clay soil, and I think they grow well in clay soil. You see? They grow well in clay soil. So this one, I already pruned this one. Let me put this back. This is the next one right here. This one, I didn't prune this one. This is this one here. I didn't prune this one, but what I've seen, I didn't prune it, but what I've seen it start pushing out limbs now. But the only thing is, I don't like how it growing tall. That's the thing, because we got to be moving them. That one is going to be, yes, yes. But the thing is, I don't want them to be too tall, because we got to struggle with them during the winter. In the fall, we got to struggle with them, and we got to try to take them from outdoors. So you want to have them in a sort, you want to be able to control them. Hello, Pino. Let me see if let me see. Pinolope, what's up? Blessing, blessing. Yes. So guys, these is 4 years old. Not 2 years, 2 years old. These are 2 years old, and their growth is really good. The only thing I'm using is organic matter and clay soil, and they work really well. I water them 3 times a week because it's really heated these days, and I think they're doing really well. Now we have a small one here. Since this is a small one and it have 2 branch, 3 branch, Maybe I might just leave this one. Maybe I might just leave this one for go out, or maybe if I allow it to get taller, then let it branch out. You know what? Maybe let me see. Hold on. No, this one I'm gonna do it now. You know why I'm gonna do this one now? Because I don't want it to get tall. I want it to start branching out now. So while it growing, it branching out. So you see, I'm going right to the top there. I hope you guys seeing. Let me see. Okay, let me see. You see here? This is the crown. This is the crown. This is the top piece that growing up. You able to see? Okay. Now I'm gonna take out this piece. This piece, I'm gonna take this out. I'm taking out this. Right. So instead I keep growing up, it's gonna start spreading and strengthen itself because I don't want it to go up to 7, 8 feet. 7, 8 feet is too tall. I don't want to get to 7, 8 feet. I think 5 feet might be good, 5 feet, and then they spread out. So this one, this one gonna be pretty tall. This one I already cut the top so it's spreading. But if I allow this, if I allow this to continue, it's just gonna be going up in the air. And I don't really want them to be tall. But I'm not gonna do I'm not gonna I have a lot of them, but I'm not gonna do all of them because I wanna see. At least I wanna see the difference. I wanna see the growth. I wanna see how they're gonna look in the next 2 years. So you don't wanna do all of them. You wanna at least do some and then you could judge from that. We're gonna do the same with some lemon plant. Yeah, lemon. Yeah, yeah. Okay. No. This is a sweet lemon. Okay, okay. Basically, basically what I'm doing here is apply to basically many plants. What you see I'm doing here, it apply to many plants. Now, this is a sweet lemon. I don't know if you guys familiar with sweet lemon, but this is a sweet lemon here, and this one is a Mayan lemon, right? This one is a Mayan lemon. This all of them come from store bought. I only know sour lemon. Oh yeah? Well, they call this one sweet lemon. Let me describe the taste. It's not to say that it's sweet. It's not to say that it's sweet, but it ain't sour. So I guess that's the one I got. The one I got, it didn't sweet, but it didn't sour. But that's the name they call. So I purchased them and I set the seed them. I have maybe like eight of them. But with the lemon, I don't know if you can see here. I hope you can see. With the lemon, I cut off the top of the lemon. And if you notice, it starts spreading. Instead of going straight up, it starts spreading. Look at the top. Because I cut the top. Now, this one, if you notice, this one is just growing straight up in the air. Right? This one is just going straight up in the air. Now, the truth is, I don't want them to go straight up in the air and looking, just growing tall. I want them to spread with a lot of limbs. And the more limbs they spread, you might stand a chance of even getting more lemon from the plant. This is another sweet lemon. So I'm not going on. I'm not going on cut all their top, but I already cut this one, and this one is doing well. This one I didn't cut it. This one I didn't cut it. But let me tell you something, guys. If you purchase a lemon from the store, you can take out the seeds. And when you take out the seeds, you could put them in a damp paper towel. And when you put them in a damp paper towel, you put them in a Ziploc bag and put them in a dark area. Within days, you're gonna start see they start pushing out like a white something, like a white root. They're gonna start pushing out a white root. This is what I did, guys. And I have so much. Same thing with the avocado plant. Well, the avocado plant, all I did, I put it in the soil and it just germinate right in the soil. You see what I'm coming from? And this is what I always talk about program seed. When I talk about program seed, it's program seed is a really good idea. It's really a good idea because no, you see these avocado that I now show you, they're just 2 years old. And most of them, one is like two is like 6 feet tall, you have 4 feet, you have 5 feet. No, when I sow these seed, I put them in the same soil that they into today. So once I'm in the same soil that they into, they germinate into this soil. This soil they already used to this soil. So they're gonna just grow. This one is just a few months old. Look how this is growing well. So the truth is, man, I prefer like avocado. I prefer to set them in their own soil. Some people put them in tissue paper. It also works that way. But I love to just put them in the soil and just let they grow because it works well for me. So yeah, so what I'm gonna do with this one, right now, I think this one is growing too tall. So what I'm gonna do, You see the top part there? I'm gonna cut it out. So instead of it growing tall up in the air, I want it grow and spread. While they're growing up, they're spreading. That's what I'm looking for because we're gonna have them in containers and we can't afford to get them too tall and too big because we're gonna have to be transporting them back and forth in the winter. So we wanna make sure that the way we do it, we able to control them. Now you have to these plants. Now you got to think about how big you want them to get. This is really important. You want to know how big do I want these plants to get. So now you is in control of that. You is in control of how big these plants get. You know how you're gonna control that? You're gonna control that in the form of the size of the container. That's how you're gonna control that. You're gonna control that by giving the plant a certain size of container that it could maintain the root. Because you could put them in a half a drum, but if you can't lift, if you don't have help, how you gonna move the half a drum to take it in your greenhouse or your garage, or to take or to even bring it back outside? So you have to be in control of how big you want these plants to get. I don't want them to get too tall. I don't want them to get too big. So what I'll do in years to come, I want to keep pruning them because I want to control their size. So you could control their size by pruning. You could also control their size by the size of the container. Many plants, the thing with pruning, let me put these back by. Yes, yes. The the thing with pruning, the thing with pruning, some plants, some fruit trees, if you prune them, you actually, because certain plants, their limbs have to develop and reach a certain stage in order for it to produce. Like when you deal with the plum tree, if you prune the plum tree in the fall and it catch back in the spring, the new growth is not producing any plum. The following year, it might produce plum. But if you prune it in the fall and then in the spring, it shoot out new leaf, them leaf is not gonna produce. You gotta wait for the following year. Now, when we talk about mango, mango is completely different. If you prune a mango produce on their new limbs. You see what I say? You see how you gotta know the difference? If you prune a mango plant and the mango plant, you notice mango does produce out to the end. You notice that? You know why it does produce to the end? Because the new growth, the new limb, the new growth the mango tree push out. That's where the fruit's coming from. You see, so pruning a mango tree, it's okay because it's gonna produce the following year. Pruning a plum tree, not to say it's not gonna produce, it's just not gonna produce on the new limb, the new growth. So these are things you got to look into. You got to look into how you prune and plant and which plant or when you should prune them. Because when you prune certain plant, it don't produce on these new limbs. So think about it, guys. So it's so much to learn. There is so much for us to learn, but the only how we can learn is by doing our own experiment, is by paying attention to our plan, watch the growth of our plan. These are the things we got to do, and we will be very successful. All right? Because right behind me there, this is my nursery. This is my experiment station when come and plant fruit trees. This is where I do my experiment, because now when I do my experiment, I know for a fact. I know for a fact. So when someone come and tell me something different, I know it ain't so. So it's all about you learning. It's all about paying attention. It's all about trying different things and see how it works for you. You know, um, I'm actually growing dragon fruit for the first time, and while I'm growing it, I see it growing really nice, and I cut off a piece of it and I put it in water and it starts rooting. So I'm going and cut another piece and I'm going to show you how I spear it down and how I prepare it. This is a fresh cut dragon fruit from one my plant I know that's growing right there. I love dragon fruit, and my goal is to multiply my dragon fruit. I want to have at least 5, 6, 7 different plants growing. So I take a limb like this. I take a limb like this and I peel off the end down here and I dip it in water and it starts rooting. So that's another plant I got right there. So what I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna do the same thing with this one. Let me show you what I did. Let me show you how I did it. Dragon fruit, very easy to propagate. So you see what I did? Now I'm gonna peel this down to the stick. As simple as 1 to 3. Then you take this, you could put this in soil. You could put this in soil as well. They germinate pretty well. But I'm gonna put it in water. Why I'm gonna put it in water? Because the first one I did, you know what? I'm gonna put this one in soil. Because the first one I did, I put it in water and I see it start growing and it also start pushing root right there. So this is how easy it is to propagate a dragon fruit. You cut the stem right where it look like they join, and you come and you slice off that you can get it down to the stick. You see like how we have it down to the stick right there? And you clean it off, and just like that, you dip it in water or you dip it in soil. And just like that, you could have another dragon fruit plant. It's all about multiplying, guys. In times like these, if you know what you're doing, you could prepare yourself to have a nursery. You could prepare yourself to have a nursery where you could actually be selling plants. You could be selling dragon fruit, easy, very easy. One of these plants, you could pay $40 for it. One of these germinate, you could pay $40 for it. So this is a way how you could help yourself. You get one plant and you keep cutting off limbs and get them propagate, put them in a container, and right there you could get $30, $40 for one of these plants. All right? So once you have the space, all you got to do is be creative. Once you have the space, be creative, and many things could happen. I know it's not easy, especially when the winter comes, when the fall comes, because you have to have somewhere to put them as well, or they cannot stand the cold weather. So you have to have somewhere to put them, to keep them. But these are simple, simple ways how a person can their multiply their fruit trees, multiply their plants, and able to make a few dollars from them. A lot of people living off of this type of stuff. Understanding how to propagate, put them all the containers, put them in the soil, and sell them. A lot of people is doing that. And at the same time, it's food for you and your family. At the same time, it's food for you and your family. So this now, you could put this in a jar of water and you could also put it down in soil. This is dragon fruit. Yes. So yes, guys. Today was a day we basically talk about fruit trees and avocado, lemon, and we also show you how we propagate our dragon fruit. So it's very interesting how these things operate, and man, it's just amazing how you could just do cut this, cut a limb, peel it out, dip it in some soil, and it turn a plant producing for its own self. Nature is something else. Nature is something else. And a lot of people, I can't knock anybody, but a lot of people, they, you have soil in your backyard, man. You have soil in your backyard, and you neglecting your soil in your backyard and go out there and spend money to buy something to set this. You could do scrape some soil from out your yard and dip this down inside it. And it ain't take no special soil that you gotta buy. You could use the soil in your backyard and create this and put this down inside here. All you gotta do, maintain the soil from time to time. That's basically it. Don't get caught up with the spending money out there, man. People make you spend every dime you have trying to grow a few lick of food. Every dime you have trying to grow a little garden. So be mindful of that, man. But yes, guys, I just want to say thank you all. I hope this video can motivate someone today. I hope this video can help someone to start their fruit tree, start growing fruit trees if they have the space, how to take care of your fruit trees. I hope this video can actually help someone. All right? Gardening is as hard as you make it to be. All right? As hard as we make it to be. Sometimes we overthink, sometimes we get distracted, and sometimes it ain't as hard as it seems. Yes, physically, you might got to put in some physical work from time to time, mentally, spiritually from time to time, but the reward you receive is great. So if you're doing a garden, do it as a place that you can go and relax. You see, I can come right here. I could go in my garden, my big garden. I also could come here and relax with my fruit trees and them and just look at different things, look at how it works. Peace of mind, sit down, relax, watch the wind blow the plant. It's just amazing. It's a place where you can just come and relax and have a beautiful time. All right. So how you guys doing tonight? How your garden going? What did you plant? How the weather is treating your garden? What's going on with you guys? How your garden going, guys? What's going on with your garden? Did you do a garden this year? Did you plant your garden this year? Did you plant anything that you never planted before? Talk to me, guys. Talk to me. All right. So what I'm going to do now, do I have a container? Don't have a container available right now. don't have a container available right now, but I'm gonna put this in some soil and maybe in a month time, 3 weeks, I might start seeing roots. So now this is an addition to my fruit tree. So now this gonna be the third plant. I have one, then I propagate one, that's two. Then this one, this gonna be three. Now from these three plants, I could end up with 50 of them. Before the year done, I might able to get more cuttings from my plant, and just like that, I might end up with 50, like 50 of them. So this is a way sometimes you cannot think about time, because if you think about time, sometimes let me see, I'm outside washing the dog, but I gathering grass, cuttings, to bed, make, lick. Definitely, definitely. You doing the right thing, man. What you doing there, you saving yourself a bunch of money, and you also growing a healthy garden. That's what matter. What you doing, you building your soil right now naturally. Once you build your soil naturally, you ain't anything to worry about in the future, because you building it natural. You building it with natural. You ain't adding nothing in your soil to mess up your soil. So you doing your thing, man. You doing your thing. I like that. I mean, you don't have to, but you giving it some gonna help boost it, and it might help produce even more, and it might help even produce longer. So giving it some could boost it. Yes, I personally I will give it some. I will definitely give it some, because you know what? This year, this year I use cabbage leaf and water. Cabbage leaf added in water and break down. That was my main fertilizer this year. The cabbage leaf that breaks down in water. That was my main for. Usually, I used to use cabbage leaf but not break down. I used to just throw it in the compost pile. This year is my first time using it as and allow it to break down as liquid and use it and actually see the result. I use it around several different plants, and all of them are working great around them. So I think giving it a boost, it's a good idea. Stand a chance of producing more, stand a chance of producing for a longer period of time. And this is where a lot of people do understand with plants too, especially if your soil is weak. You see, if your soil is weak, sometimes within that period, this is for if your soil weak. Sometimes within that period, when you see that plant produce their first crop, once you see they push out their first crop, you give them a little boost. But this is if your soil is weak. If your soil is strong, rich, you just need to get one little boost that when it starts to push flowers. But if your soil is not strong, you need to give it, you might have to give it a second boost, because you're trying to get this thing to produce as much as you can. You're not trying for this thing to give you one crop. You know what I'm saying? So It's all, listen to me, it's all about experiment. It's all about observing. Once you're able to be and have and put patience with that, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. Don't get distracted. If you are a gardener and your goal is to make sure that you grow your food a certain way, focus on doing it that way. Because I'm telling you, there's a lot of information out there that are gonna take you away from your goal and have you adding all kind of stuff in your soil that you didn't start out thinking about. So it's all about progress. It's all about observing to know what works for your plant and what never works for your plant. And learning how to make liquid composting, it's a beautiful idea. Why it's a beautiful idea? Because the plants able to take it up right away. Their roots able to suck up the nutrients right away because it's in a liquid form. It's different if you just throw some dry compost around. You still need it for breakdown properly. You still need water to wet it before the plants could actually suck the nutrients out of it. So I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna use the dry compost. I think that's still a good idea, especially in the early stage of the plant. I think that's a good idea. So while it's growing, that it's receiving that nutrients while it's growing. You see what I'm saying? No, the liquid, yes, no, the liquid fertilizer, it absorbs it faster. That's the difference. It absorbs it faster. And it really works, guys. So don't forget, guys, hit that like button. I will truly appreciate it. And hit the notification bell because we almost upload video every day. And if you want to be joining us live, we do that pretty often as well. Hit the notification bell so you could always get that video, that notification. Because when we go live, it's all about gardening and we should approve, we should progress. That's what we do. We don't play around because we know how important it is to feed our family, able to feed our family from our backyard. Ain't nothing sweeter than that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing sweeter than feeding your family from your backyard. You could say absolutely information. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. You know, I don't come on here and play around. I come on here and be very serious, and it's all about the information. That's all it's about. So, all right, guys, thank you all so much. I appreciate you all. Don't forget, you can always check out my videos, and don't forget to join us live every time. Blessings to you, Pure Grow. Blessings to you. And listen, me guys, I'm going live tomorrow evening. Yes, tomorrow evening, maybe about 1, 2 o'clock, directly from my garden. So join me over there, and I will also be baking bread. All right? So join me tomorrow. Peace and love. Blessing to all, each and every one.